think today we're going to move to the phytochemicals, actually the first. So I start with the secondary metabolism in plants and fungi. Because mostly for the phytochemicals, it's been chemical in plants, but actually it has been produced by fungi as well. So the primary metabolite is happening in every living cells. So plant and fungi can produce amino acid and proteins, also carbohydrate and lipids. That's the primary metabolite. But for the secondary metabolite, that include alkaloids, polyphenols, sterols, and flavonoids. This is just an example of the secondary metabolite. What do you think? How are they different? What is the function difference between primary metabolite and secondary metabolite? If you see this, primary including amino acid, carbohydrate, lipid, and secondary including alkaloids, polyphenol, flavonoids, like this. How are they different? Just any thought?
Concentration and structure also?
Yes, structure is different. Concentration also different. Yes. But how about the function?
Yeah, how much is that different?
What do you think? What is the function for the primary metabolite?
Structure.
What?
More structure.
More structure. It's a basic metabolite that should be in all of the living cells. So the primary metabolite mostly is the structure is limited. So we know that the structure of carbohydrate is needs to have CHO and in the polysaccharides, something like that. And for it play a very key role in the basic organism function. So its main structure is help to make the organ function, and it has an extra biological effect limited. So it has the function limited to whatever it should be. But for the secondary metabolite, the chemical structure is very diverse. You can see many kinds of the secondary metabolites in many forms. And the role in organism function is unclear. There is no clear that the alkaloids help to regulate transporter. There is no justify the function like that. And for the last one about the secondary metabolite, it has a number of extra biological effects. So that's why we pay attention more on the secondary metabolite, because a lot of the studies show that secondary metabolite can show the biological effect in either human or animals. And this is just an example of the secondary metabolite. You can see overall that all of the structure is totally different. None of them, there is no similar structure. So this is showing that the secondary metabolite is very diverse in terms of the structures. So in these figures, I copied from the plant physiology, and the top part, that's the pathway for the primary metabolite. So in every living cells in the plant, they use the carbohydrate, they use carbon dioxide and do photosynthesis to generate glucose, amino acid, and lipid in their cells. And that's a basic function of the primary metabolite in the plant. But other than the primary metabolite, they also use the primary metabolite to generate the secondary metabolite by using the Shikimic acid pathway. This is the important pathway that is the initial step of the producing secondary metabolite. So with the Shikimic pathway, malonic acid pathway, uracilic acid pathway, and MEP pathway, we can get the phenolic compounds and terpenes. And this is the main thing that is make every plant different and make every plant has a different bioactive bioactivity. Do you think what is the point of secondary metabolite? Why we need to study secondary metabolite? Why we need to know about this?
Well, plenty of them have antioxidant capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
phenol.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Why we care about antioxidant capacity?
Well, for in plants for defense,
Uh-huh.
for us, defense against ROS.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Actually, there are two alternatives, and yes, that's the thing that antioxidant it has been shown that it's related to health human. So it can help, it can promote our health. But what do you think why the plants need to produce secondary metabolite?
Some of them will provide them with special characteristics, for example, the smell. And it's going to attract insects to pollinize, or color as well. Some of them.
Yes.
Color are protected from, for example, flavonoids and can protect the plant from the sunlight and protect all the photosynthetic system, things like this.
Yes. So long time ago, the scientists said that secondary metabolite is a metabolic error of those plants, but they found that secondary metabolite is the evolution of the defense mechanism, like we said before. It's defense by itself. Carotenoid can prevent the plant from mutation that can get from the UV light, and that's the hypothesis of why the plants need to produce the secondary metabolite. So the example of the secondary metabolite for defense is, do you know this fish? Fugu. Yes, it's a, or we call puffer fish. It has a toxin called tetrodotoxins, which is a potent sodium channel blocker. So that can cause human to death. And it's produced by these fish, but it could be removed by the proper preparation. So we can eat this fish, but it needs to be prepared properly. So in several studies, they see the toxic dose. The lethal dose that can make the cat die is 10 micrograms per kilogram body weight. In the mouse is 300 micrograms, but for in human it's very low, 16 micrograms. So it's very important to prepare it properly, otherwise you can get yes. I don't know if it's fufu in Costa Rica.
I don't think so.
No. It's like we increase to have it. Intentionally, people using this is kind of contaminate fish because this fish is very cheap. So in some company, they mix this meat of fish with the other normal fish that we use to make fish ball. But luckily, all of the labor that they do this work, they know how to do it properly, so there is no problem in Thailand, even though we have this mix of fish in our food. Another example of the defense mechanism has been shown in cabbage. So we see that in cabbage there is a lot of worm. But normally in the cabbage it has a compound called glucosinolate, which is a normal compound that's found in cabbage. In cabbage itself also has an enzyme called myrosinase that can convert glucosinolate to isothiocyanate, which is a toxic compound. When the worm eat the cabbage, they found that the concentration of myrosinase is increased. That means they will produce more isothiocyanate, and this is toxic to the worm. So eventually the worm will die. So when the cabbage has the worm, they will increase the toxin in itself, and that kills the worm. So this is one of the defense mechanisms in the cabbage. And this is what we just mentioned, that, okay, normally in the plant, when they get too much UV light, it can influence the structure of the DNA. That can cause the mutation. But in many plants, it has polyphenols that can absorb the UV light. So this is a defense mechanism in the plants, that how the plant can protect itself from the UV light from mutation. Otherwise, it can get mutated every time. For example, the cactus in desert. They have a lot of polyphenols because it needs to protect itself from the sunlight, otherwise it's going to get mutated. And the study that they show the difference between purple corn and the white corn. So if you see from this slide, if the plant gets UV light too much, they will form dimers. You see the dimer? So they measure the dimer in the corn, and they found that, so the white bar, that's for the green corn, which is the white corn. But in this paper, they call green corn. And for the shade bar, that is the purple corn. So they found that when they increase the intensity of the UVB dose, they found a lot of the dimers has been generated into the green corn. That's because of the green corn doesn't have anthocyanin that can absorb the UV light. So this is one of the mechanisms that they protect itself. And it is just an average dimering that happened into the green corn compared to the purple corn. This is also confirmed that the anthocyanin in the purple corn is a defense mechanism in the corn. And why we need to study the secondary metabolite? Why? It's a defense mechanism for the plant. Why we need to care about it?
Because we eat them.
Yes, because we eat them, and then
We might use them.
we get them, and you think that those metabolites will affect us?
They can be beneficial or they can be bad for us too.
Yes. So secondary metabolites tend to be the most interesting for the prevention of the treatment. So most of them is beneficial for us, but some of them toxic as well, like we see that in the fugu, in the puffer fish. And there are a lot of history about the development of secondary metabolite that it has been produced to be a drug, such as morphine. Morphine that's from the plant. And because there are a lot of consistency in secondary metabolite level, that's caused a lot of big problems in the research. For example, there are a lot of studies that have been studied on green tea, but green tea from Japan show different from green tea from China, from US, from different origins. So that's why we need to study about how the location of the growing affect the concentration or even the bioactivity of the even same compound in the same species. And by understanding the secondary metabolite, you can modulate the content of the compound that you are interested in food or non-food plant. That's why we should study about this area. I don't know why you come to this class. What do you expect for the short course? What do you expect to know from the short course?
In my case, to be updated.
Yes.
I want to learn about different substances and the potentially biofunctionality of them. I think also it's to know and learn more about them.
Is there anybody work in this area?
Which area? In London. I didn't know.
You work in this area? You work with?
I work mainly in carotenoids, so I would like to know a little bit more about other compounds that it could be future research. That's why I'm interested, because in fruits or you not only have one compound that would be interesting, you have a set of different compounds that you can benefit from. So I think it's good to see different aspects from it.
And you work on the bioactivity of carotenoids.
I'm working in bioaccessibility and bioavailability of carotenoids.
Okay. So, because you are the one working on carotenoids, so you will be my target today. So, what is the source of carotenoid that you are studying?
It's a tropical fruit, it's called sapote. It's, well, widely known here. Yeah. I don't know, it's a soft fruit that is fleshy and it's orange inside.
And that's a typical fruit in Costa Rica.
Yes, it has been forgotten for a long time. It was the food for my grandma and grandpas, but now it's been like hidden. But you can get, sometimes you look for it, but it's not maybe well known for young people. So we're trying to bring it back.
But it's not only one source of the carotenoid in Costa Rica. No. Is there other plant that's rich in carotenoid?
Peach palm.
And a lot of squash, even like
Mango.
papaya.
Yeah. Papaya grown here, right? Yeah. Do you think the content of the carotenoid in mango, papaya, and sapote are they the same?
No.
How? How are they different?
They could be different in composition. It's not the same type of carotenoids that I find in my fruits, sapote, and what I find in papaya. The levels may differ, and from them also the benefits. It's not the same having in one high amounts of beta-carotene and the other ones can have high amounts of lycopene, so it's diverse.
If you compare the carotenoid content in chapote, chapote, sapote, sorry. If you compare the content of carotenoid in sapote that you grow in your backyard, and you grow in your backyard, do you think it's going to be the same? Why?
Because of the composition of the soil and the conditions, the weather, the light, genetics.
Yes. So many things can affect the content or the level of the carotenoid or the content of the secondary metabolite in even the same plant, same species. So, for example, genetics. Blackberry and raspberry, they are the same species. But if we do genetic modification by delete the genes that it can produce anthocyanin, do you see what's going to happen to them? Both of them contain anthocyanin. That's why it shows blue color and red color. Do you think if I delete the genes that it can produce anthocyanin,
The color is going to change.
the color is going to change? Yes. What color it would be?
Green.
What color do you think? What color it would be?
Green.
If you delete the gene of the anthocyane.
Yes. If I delete the genes that can produce anthocyanin, so it cannot produce anthocyanin anymore.
It will be purple.
It will be like purple. What color it will be? Guess.
Green.
Green or white?
No. Chlorophyll will degrade.
No, the chlorophyll will not degrade. We delete only the anthocyanin genes.
But chlorophyll will degrade with the light or?
No, it won't.
Some cases could be brown because there are other polyphenols that can be there, and some of them will be dark or yellow.
Yeah. Yes, actually, it become yellow. It become to be a golden berry. it look better. I mean, in terms of my mind, I think that's look better. Because of the first time that I see blackberry in US, so in Thailand we don't have blackberry. So the first time that I see blackberry, I think it doesn't look like that is clean. It's like because it has a white thing on the skin. So I think that's a dirt on the skin. I think this is look more clean. Yeah. So genetic is one thing that it affect the secondary metabolite and the ergot. So it has two varieties, P1 and ECC93. ECC93 is dominant variety compared to the P1. So they both have a different secondary metabolite. So it has the same group of this compound, but it connects with a different isomer. So finally, even though it's the same species, but the genetic different. So the final of the secondary metabolite, they are different. Environment also different. You said that in your backyard, maybe it has more sunlight than the other person's backyard. The weather will be colder or whatever. So in this study, they study about the presence of caterpillar. So they put caterpillar in the plant. So this first plant, Arabidopsis, and the second plant is Brassica. So in Arabidopsis, they found that the presence of caterpillar will have the very low growth of caterpillar. So in the same plant, the presence of caterpillar has an effect on the growth of itself. Do you think why?
Can you repeat that, please?
So it has a plant, Arabidopsis, two plants. One doesn't have the caterpillar on it. The other one has caterpillar on it. And they measure the caterpillar. So at the beginning, they don't have, and this one has. But for a while, they put another caterpillar and they want to know what is the growth rate of caterpillar. This one, they found that the growth of caterpillar is very high, so it's the white bar. But this is, they didn't induce the caterpillar before. They did induce the caterpillar before, and they see the lower growth of caterpillar, which is the black bar. Do you think why? Why the induction of caterpillar at the beginning has an effect on the growth of caterpillar growth?
If the plant was already fighting against it, and it's producing this compounds that could be affecting the caterpillar growth. Instead of the other one is fresh.
Yes.
So no defense, so the caterpillar will just take everything.
Yes, exactly. So they measure the secondary metabolite. So this indolil, they measure in Arabidopsis, and they found that the plant that they induced with caterpillar before has a high concentration of indolil. In the same time, in Brassica, they also show the high concentration of allele. So this is an effect of the induction of caterpillar that they put it before they want to test the growth again. So this is the effect from the environment. And another example, mate is a shade-resistant plant, and they study how the sunlight can affect the concentration of the secondary metabolites. So they measure the concentration of theobromine and caffeine by using the nylon sheet with a different intensity. So the plant get a different intensity of sunlight, 93%, 41%, and 5%. And they really found that when they lower the intensity of the sunlight, the concentration of secondary metabolite is very high. So if you think that you want your plant to have very low caffeine, maybe you want to grow them in very high sunlight area. But if you want your plants really have very high caffeine, that means you need to put the shade and above it. So you can decide about how much you want your plant to generate those metabolites by using the environment. And this is the sprout of the broccoli. So in this study, they measure the methylthioacylglucosinolate, which is an anti-cancer compound. And they found that the longer time after sprouting, the concentration of this compound is decreased. So it's better to eat when it just sprouts. The longer you wait, the lower concentration you could have. And the opium. Everyone knows opium, right? And you know that we can get the latex to produce morphine. And that's for the also be used in the medicine in the optimal concentration. So after it's flowering, it will generate the latex. And they found that the longer day after you wait, after it's flower, if you wait too long, the concentration of morphine that you get from the latex is decreased. So from this graph, you can see that it's about 15 to 18 days. That's the maximum, that's the optimum time that you could get the highest dose of the morphine concentration. So ontology also affect about the concentration of secondary metabolite. Processing also affect as well. We have many types of tea: green tea, white tea, green tea, oolong tea, and black tea. But in this figure, I show you green tea, oolong tea, and black tea. Anyone know how are they different?
Different fermentation stage and process.
Yes. Which one is fully fermented? Yes. Black tea is a fully fermented tea. Green tea is non-fermented tea, and oolong tea is semi-fermented. So the green tea will contain a lot of catechin, but for the oolong tea, it contains oolong tea polyphenol, polymerized polyphenols, and for the black tea, it mostly contains theophylline, which is a bigger compound compared to the green tea because it's polymerized by the enzyme. So from green tea, if they crush the tea, and so the catechin inside, it will get oxidized by enzyme called polyphenol oxidase. So you will see that catechin that found in green tea, mostly they will get polymerized and get theophylline. This is the difference between the processing and the secondary metabolite. Cocoa as well. Normally in the cocoa powder, if it before is past a process called dashing. Dashing is one of the major processes that we use to produce chocolate. So in national cocoa, we found this compound. If you just look at the structure, you will see that this compound is much smaller compared to the compound that we found in chocolate. So the processing affects the polymerization of the compound, the polyphenol and proanthocyanin in the cocoa powder. So the major classes of secondary metabolite that I will talk, including phenylpropanoids, alkaloids, terpenoids, glycoside, and sterols. So we start with the
Can you put that up slide?
the last one.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Any questions so far? Or anything you want to discuss before we move to the secondary metabolite. Okay, so we start with the phenylpropanoid. Actually, most people know phenylpropanoid as phenolic compound. So it's a group that's probably best known as antioxidant. I think all of the people know antioxidant, maybe they don't even know what is phenolic compound, but they know antioxidant. A lot of companies can advertise their products by using that high antioxidant, but they don't even show that what is the concentration of polyphenols that contain in their products, because most of the consumers know that antioxidant that's good for their health, but they don't even know that what is actually compound that show the antioxidant capacity in that product. It including flavonoids, lignan, coumarins, and aromatic acid. And it's derived from the Shikimic acid pathway, which I showed before. And in the Shikimic acid pathway is very unique pathway that's found in plants. And it leads to the formation of two amino acids, phenylalanine and tyrosine. So you may think that the plant doesn't contain a lot of protein, but from Shikimic acid pathway, it actually produces these two amino acid enzymes, which can be the substrate for other phenolic compounds in their pathway. And it also leads to the formation of many other phenyl C3 compounds. So this basic structure of the phenylpropanoid is contain the phenol ring and 3 carbon chain over here. So this is the basic structure for the phenylpropanoid. So normally on your right hand side here, that's a normal process of glucose. So glucose gets into the glycolysis pathway and eventually you get energy. But on the other hand, in the alternative pathway, it can go to the pentose phosphate pathway, react with the erythritose 4-phosphate and get into the Shikimic acid pathway. So in the pentose phosphate pathway, it can convert to the group. It can convert the glucose into a different size of sugar that can be used in the DNA synthesis. So just basic formation of the Shikimic acid pathway. So it starts with the phosphoenol pyruvate react with the erythritose 4-phosphate and get into this compound with the movement of the electron and atoms. You will get the Shikimic acid pathway over here. That's one link with the carboxylic group over here and 3 hydroxy group. After that, the Shikimic acid pathway also use the ATP and pass to the hydrolysis of the PEP, get to the pyruvic acid, and then get into the Chorismic acid. So this is transformation from the Shikimic acid pathway to Chorismic acid, to the Chorismic acid. Not finished yet. Chorismic acid can rearrange itself to get this compound, and they can go two ways. From the prefinic acid, it can get into this pathway and get tyrosine, or in this way, it can get phenylalanine. So this is the final of the Shikimic acid pathway. You will get these two amino acids, tyrosine and phenylalanine. So tyrosine and phenylalanine are the precursor for all of the phenylpropanoids. That's why because at the beginning we have glucose. So actually we have glucose as a original substrate, but when it passes to Shikimic acid pathway, it can transform into the tyrosine and phenylalanine, and that is a precursor for all of the phenylpropanoids.
I have a question, maybe doesn't have anything to do, but I have a doubt to know. There are people who use reactive to phenylalanine, and they have heart disease when use it on.
Yes, mostly in the gum, right? need to label that
It's very
not
low.
suitable. Yeah.
Okay, because I was worried that maybe they couldn't mean even polyphenols.
But it's already transformed if the phenylalanine is transformed into the polyphenol, it's changed already. So for the tyrosine and phenylalanine, it can be converted to cinnamic acid and picoumaric acid. This is just an example of the simplest compound that change from the tyrosine and phenylalanine. So you can see that the structure will be look similar to the origin of tyrosine and phenylalanine. And acid and alcohol derivative of cinnamic acid has been found. So there is a lot of derivatives that can be generated from the cinnamic acid. So you can get the hydroxy group over here and called picoumaric acid, caffeic acid, flavonoid acid that has been found in beef and oat. That has the methyl group over here, and you can get the picoumaric alcohol over here. So you can see that with the metabolite, you can have a lot of difference of the structure of the compounds with the change of the electron transportation, with the methylation of glucuronidase. So this is just an example of the bioactivity of flavonoid acid and caffeic acid that can inhibit skin cancer in mice. So in this study, they used the DBMA, which is dimethyl benzanthine, which is the initiator of the skin cancer that they inject to the mice. And they treat the mice with the flavonoid acid and caffeic acid. The control mice, that means the mice didn't given flavonoid or caffeic acid. And they found that after 10 weeks, the tumor per mouse, they count the number of the tumor in the mouse, and they found it's increasing compared to the mouse that they had given flavonoid acid and caffeic acid, that the number of the tumor is very decreased, is very low compared to the control mouse. So it shows that flavonoid acid and caffeic acid has the activity that can inhibit skin cancer in the mice. And these metabolites can be found in pear, basil, thyme, tarragon, and coffee. So it's very common in our food.
Those were acids that came from tyrosine.
Which acid?
Those are caffeic acid and ferulic acid are like tyrosine became cinnamic acid, and
Yes.
cinnamic acid can turn into those.
Yes. So caffeic acid free active ester or CAPA also inhibit radiation-induced inflammation. So in this study, they induce the inflammation by using the radiation to the mice, and they found that with the CAPA alone, it didn't show any effect. It doesn't cause anything. But when the mice get the radiation for 6 hours, they measure the TGF, IL-6, TNF-alpha, IL-1 alpha, and IL-1 beta. Most of these cytokine is an inflammatory cytokine. So when it shows the high concentration, high ratio of these cytokines, that means the mice get inflamed. So you can see that with the radiation for 6 hours, all of the cytokine is very high compared to control mice. But when the mice get the CAPE with the radiation, it significantly decreased with the TGF beta, TNF alpha, and IL-1 alpha. But no significant difference on the IL-6 and IL-1 beta. So these show that caffeic acid phenylethyl ester can inhibit the radiation-induced inflammation. Capsaicin is found in a lot of chili. It has been used as analgesic compound. So it can decrease the substance P from the local nerve fiber. If that when you eat chili, at the beginning you feel very hurt, but if you eat it, continue eating it, you feel nothing. So they use that activity to help people. So in this study, they use a subject who has the mucositis, which is the inflammation and ulceration of the mucous membrane. Is a side effect of the chemotherapy. So in this study, they study with the 12 subjects with mild to moderate mucositis. So they give 5 to 8 milligrams of capsaicin candy into those patients. And they ask the patient to score the pain. So the blue bar means the score before they get the candy containing capsaicin. But the red bar showing the score of the pain after they get the capsaicin candy. It's showing that after they get the capsaicin candy, the pain score can be lower in all of the subjects. Because they use that activity that after they get the higher amount of capsaicin, the patient feels nothing. That's why they release the pain score from the blue bar to the red bar for each patient. So that's just the basic of the why a lot of study pay attention on the secondary metabolites, because mostly before they study on secondary metabolites specific each one, mostly they use the observation around them. Maybe they start thinking that after they eating the capsaicin, they feel numb. That's why they think, okay, it might be useful for release the pain in some patients. Or maybe they see that if the cabbage can kill worm by itself, that means it contains something. That's the origin of how the scientists become to pay more attention on secondary metabolites. So the major compound that we interested in the flavonoid is flavonoids. It's very common, people know flavonoids. So you can find in the chrysanthemum flower, raspberry, apple, mangosteen, the butterfly pea, or roses. That's all contain the flavonoid. So mostly is shown in the plant or fruit that is contain color.
Excuse me, you said flavonoids were the most common ones?
The most common that people know. So there are more than 2,000 known flavonoids that has been identified. Flavonoids and anthocyanin are conspicuous plant pigments. All of the plants that has color is contain either flavonoid or anthocyanin. And flavones are responsible for the yellow and orange color. Anthocyanin are the source of red, violet, and blue color. I don't know, in Costa Rica, do we have any plants that has blue or purple color?
Blackberry.
Blackberry.
Very like sun. From here, fantastic. Yes. And it has been studied a lot in here in the research center.
On the bioactivity?
Yeah, now in the bioactivity. But before they studied the components, it's very similar to wine.
Red wine.
Polyphenols, they are medicine that
Okay, yeah. So flavonoids play a major role in attracting the insect to feed and pollinate itself, the plant. Some of them have been bitter taste and repel harmful insects. So either attract the insect, some of them can repel the insect as well. Flavonoids are thought to be antioxidants and play a major role in our diet, preventing the revenge of aging caused by free radicals. That's why we call antioxidant. So this is what we see in the flower, right? We see color, actually the insects see from the color from the flowers. They cannot see the color, but with their eyes, they see the black spot. So actually, the insect, they identify the pattern of the flower by using the black spot. So they can differentiate the flower with the first type of flower with the second type of flower by using the UV light, the UV absorbing area. So they say the different type of, they see different what we see. And this is the basic structure for flavonoid. Contain 3 rings: A ring, B ring, and C ring. I don't know who is the first person who named it. Why they didn't say A, B, and C, but they just A, B, and C. Yeah, I think that's interesting why they don't use this. But this is the basic structure of all of the flavonoid. They will have 3 rings with one O cup, one oxygen over here. Naringenin. It has been found a lot in grapefruit. So from the shikimic acid pathway, they get added 3 molecules of the maroonyl CoA and get into this compound. They inoculation and rearrange itself to get this compound, and with the addition of microbe, they get the naringenin, which is the flavonoid. It makes the grapefruit has a yellow or orange color. It has been called that is mixed origin compound. This is why it's called mixed origin compound. Why?
It's 2 molecules.
So what is it?
Yes, because it comes from 2 origin pathway. It comes from shikimic acid pathway, and it also comes from the acetate pathway. That's why it's called mixed origin compound, because it comes from 2 pathways. But other things come from only shikimic acid pathway. This is a major subclass of the flavonoids. Actually, the first time that I studied this area, my professor told me that if you study this area, you need to be able to draw off this structure. You need to be able to identify which one called what. So we start with the flavone. So for my mind, I start with flavone. So it has the ketone over here and double bond over here. But when it has the hydroxy group over here, we have all to follow at the end. So it's flavanol. So in this compound, flavanol, there is no double bond over here. That's why we call flavanol, because it has no carbon double bond. But from this compound, when you add hydroxy group over here, you call flavanol. You will see the similar structure between compounds. And isoflavone, the B ring, instead of is up in here, it's down. That's called isoflavone. And for the flavanol, it's similar to the flavanoid, but it doesn't have ketone group, but it has a hydroxy group over here. It's called flavanol. And we have 2-sided compound that cannot be related to anything. It's called charcoal, which is the open ring on the C ring, and Anthocyanic, which has the positive charge on the oxygen group. So just keep in mind that, okay, we have 8 major subclasses of the flavonoids. And from these major subclasses, it has a lot of subunits under each class. So for the flavonoids, you can get a lot of polymerization, oxidation. For example, teoflavin, which is the polymerization of the catechin, procyanin A that has been found in peach, and procyanin B2 that has Anyone know that's what food that contain a lot of procyanidin B2? Can anyone guess? This is it's sweet.
What is it?
What food that contain a lot of procyanidin B2? Identify. My hint is sweet, dark. This is all the kids like it.
Coffee.
Hmm?
Coffee.
Coffee?
And chocolate.
Chocolate, yes. Chocolate contains a lot of procyanidin B2. Yeah. And it's very big compound because it gets polymerized from the cocoa powder into the chocolate. It's passed through the polymerization process. Flavone. Okay. We start with flavone. This is the basic structure of the flavone. So there is a double bond over here in the serine and ketone group over here. So the first one, an example is epigenic. So you have hydroxyl group, 3 more hydroxyl group over here, here, and on the serine. It has been found in celery. Baseline, it has 3 hydroxyl group on arine and tangerine. A lot of the methyl group can contain found in tangerine. So these things, most of the flavone, the recommendation of intake is 20 to 50 micrograms per day. The biological activity of the flavone, baseline and epigenic can inhibit cytochrome P2C9, which is the important enzyme in drug metabolism. We will talk about the cytochrome P later. Tangerine has the cholesterol lowering effect in hamster. And broccoli, it has the anxiety effect in the mice without cause of sleeping. So it has been studied in the mice already that it can reduce anxiety without cause the mice go to sleep. So in this study, it's studied in the mice. So they study on the human prostate cancer. They inject the carcinogen into the mouse and they measure the size of the tumor after 1 week. So they measure every week about the size of the tumor and calculate the volume of the tumor. They treat the mice with abigenin in 2 doses, 20 micrograms per day or 50 micrograms per day. And they also have the control mice that didn't get the abigenin. This is the graph of the control mice. So you can see that the tumor volume is very high. It's increasing throughout the study since week 1 to week 8. But for the mice that get 20 and 50 micrograms abigenin, the volume of the tumor is significantly lower compared to control mice. So this showing that abigenin can decrease the tumor, the prostate tumor in the mice. Flavonols, the structure of flavonols, so it has the hydroxy group in serines. For example, quercetin that's found in onion, quercetin found in strawberry, maureen found in papaya. So mostly flavonols found in fruit and vegetable. And the recommendation intake is 20 to microgram, 20 to 50 microgram per day, or not milligram per day. Yeah. So, I say that some flavonols are also present as glycoside. If you look at these 3 compounds, what do you see that what the function that you see that they are the same? Do they have anything look similar for these three compounds? Glucose. Yes, they all contain glucose. This one has two glucose, this one has only one, and this has one. The compound, the flavonols that have the glucose attached, we call glycoside because it has glucose attached to it. Do you think the attachment of the glucose to the compound affect anything to the flavonols? Do you think the attachment of the glucose to the compound, it will affect anything because it's originally come from the same structure, but it just has, this has two glucose, this has one glucose. Do you think they will show any different bioactivity or any different function?
I would say so. I would say so.
Do you think that it's going to change something?
Maybe the absorption is different because of the solubility there.
Yes, the absorption is definitely different. According to this study, they study bioavailability of the quercetin. So they have quercetin and quercetin which the three glucose attached. And so the top one is quercetin with three glucose. They found the high concentration in the plasma, but for the quercetin is lower and gluten is the lowest. So they found that glycoside gave a better quercetin bioavailability. So this shows that when you study the activity of the secondary metabolite, you should know that are you studying a glycol or glycoside of that metabolite, because the bioavailability of itself is different. If you cannot absorb it into your plasma, it means that you're going to get nothing, because it's not going to pass to your bloodstream to the target organ. So you need to know that what is the actual compound that is going to have an effect, and what is the compound that you ingest inside into your body. And even though that you know that, okay, maybe quercetin 3-glucose is an active compound that can show the bioactivity to your body, but you also need to pay attention if you eat it. Will your body detach the glucose? If it detach the glucose and finally you get only quercetin, it's not going to show effect as well. So when we study bioavailability, we need to know about what is the actual compound that we ingest and what is the actual compound that our body can absorb. So this is following the previous study. So it's showing that quercetin 3-glutinoside show the very low Cmax compared to quercetin and quercetin 4-glucoside. And when they did the area under curve from the bioavailability, they found it's very low. So the structure of the compound is really affect bioavailability of that compound, even though it originates from the quercetin, the same quercetin. Next one is flavonol. So it doesn't have a double bond, but it has a ketone group over here. So the first one is hesperidin, naringenin, that's also found in grapefruit, and pinosembrine. All of the flavonol has the recommendation intake is 10 to 20 milligrams per day. So most of the flavonol found in citrus and oranges. Flavonols, so doesn't have the double bond over here, but it has hydroxy group with the ketone group on the serine. So aromatidine is has been found in pine, and tasifolin is found in alfalfa. So, but not a lot of people study on flavonol, so we don't have the recommendation intake yet. Flavanols, also known as catechin. So it doesn't have the ketone group, it doesn't have double bond, but it has the hydroxy group on the serine. So this is the epicalocatechin tea gallate, which is the richest catechin that has been found in green tea and also in some chocolate. And epicatechin is also a derivative of flavonoids. The intake is about 160 mg per day. Mostly all the flavonoids has been found as a glycose, so no glucose attached into it, no sugar attached. Why this study for the health benefit? I will have another presentation about the effect of green tea. So the certain species have characteristic compound that could be used for biomarkers. That's the characteristic and bioactivity of the flavonoids. Anthocyanin, this has a positive charge on the serine over here. So for example, the cyanidin that has been found in purple grapes, delphinurine that's found in blackcurrant, and the recommendation intake is 1 to 2 mg per day. We all know that anthocyanin is the color of anthocyanin is pH dependent. So this is just an easy example from the red cabbage. So they vary the pH between 1 to 12, and they see the shape of the color, even though that's extracted from the red cabbage. But it shows the red color, blue, purple, blue until yellow color. Either is in the acid form, natural form, or the basic form. I just wanted to let this here. When I talk about the recommendation intake, why do you think that we need to mention about recommendation intake? Why we need to talk about the recommendation intake of those compounds?
Maybe when you take too much of it, then it could be detrimental to your body because you're not getting the benefits. Maybe you're getting an adverse effect.
Yes, exactly.
Too much.
Yes, because everything has a dose effect. If you get too little, you will get any effect. If you get in the optimal level, you can get the beneficial effect. But if you get it too much, it can cause the adverse effect as well. That's why all of the compound is scientists try to make a recommendation intake. Otherwise, you're going to get the toxic effect. So in this study, the researcher, they do the study with the neoplasia tissue. And they do the expression of COX-2 and INOS, which is the expression of the inflammation marker. So on the left-hand side, the pre-treatment, before they give the tissue with the black raspberry gel, they see a lot of expression of COX-2 and INOS. That's showing that the tissue has a lot of the inflammation. But when they treat the tissue with the black raspberry gel, it's showing that the expression of COX-2 and INOS is significantly decreased. If you see about the intensity of the color from purple to very light over here, compared, you can see the beneficial effect of the black raspberry gel from this study. Isoflavone has been found in soybean. So genistein is one of them. Biocanine that has been found in sprout. Desin also found in the soybean, and the recommendation intake is only 1 to 2 mg per day. So that's a recommendation of the specific compound, not the whole total of the soybean. It doesn't mean that you can consume soybean only 2 mg per day. That's nothing. But because it's in the soybean contains very low amount of genistein, but the recommendation intake doesn't tell you that you need to take a lot. It's only 1 to 2 milligrams per day. So a lot of studies, they show that isoflavone from soybean has a preventive effect on cancer, but it's very complicated. It shows that the isoflavone from soybean has estrogenic and anti-estrogenic effect depending on the dose. It can act as an estrogen, and it can also act as anti-estrogen with a different dose. It also contains antioxidant capacity, and with the genistein, they found that genistein can inhibit topoisomerase and receptor tyrosine kinase. Topoisomerase is a critical compound that has been used in DNA synthesis. So this genistein can also have an effect on cancer prevention. So with these claims, they all sound good, but when they try in animal model of the cancer, this is what they found. They use the mice, inject them with PT3, with PC3, which is a prostate cancer. So they inject the prostate cancer cells into the mice to initiate the tumor development, and they look at the survival. The first line, the dark line over here, is a control. So the mice get the prostate cancer cell, but didn't get any treatment. It died very fast, only 45 days. All of them died. When they get the genistein, show no effect. I would say that no effect. Only 48 days, all of them died. They get oral genistein with the dose of 5 milligrams per day, and they get radiotherapy. So they get radiation. They found that with the radiation, it's longer survival. But when they combine radiation with genistein, it shows the longest survival. So genistein itself doesn't help anything. So you need to combine with the radiation therapy that can help the prostate cancer that you induce into the mice. So even though a lot of studies found that it has anti-estrogenic effect, it can inhibit the DNA synthesis. So inhibition of DNA synthesis can indicate that the cancer cell doesn't copy itself too much. And dietary genistein can enhance the breast carcinogenesis effects. So in this study, they used estradiol, which is the substrate compound that when you ingest in it, your body will use the cytochrome 2E1 to metabolize and get estrogen. So they inject estradiol into the mice, and that's a positive control because when the mice get estradiol, it will get a lot of tumor. When they treat the mice with the different doses of genistein, they found that when you increase the dose of genistein, the effect is very comparable to the estradiol. So genistein really increased the breast cancer in the mice. So the effect here is totally different from the previous that they found. What do you think? Why in this slide a lot of people see the preventive effect of cancer from genistein, from isoflavone, but when they do the study in the mice, not only prostate cancer, but including breast cancer, genistein and isoflavone didn't show any effect. It works. Why? Do you think why? Any guess?
Can it transform in some way in the absorption in a way that is not doing this function anymore, but it's in the way the treatment?
Using isoflavone transform to some other compound. Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, Desin is one of isoflavone that it could be get metabolized by gut microbe to get equal. And when they do the study, they found that 50% of the population they has a gut microbiota that can produce equal. So half of the people can use Desin as equal, but half of the people they cannot convert Desin to the equal. So actually maybe not Desin that actually the active compound. Maybe the equal itself that the active compound. That's why in some study they found the effect. Maybe those studies they use the population that has a gut microbiota that can convert Desin into the equal. But in some study they didn't choose the population that has the gut microbiota. That's why they show different effects. So they hypothesized that equal may be the active metabolite for the isoflavone. So this is the study in the women. So in women, normally they will have the hip fraction. So they will have the fraction in the bone around here. So they study in two types of women. So the red bar, that's the women who has a gut microbiota who doesn't have a gut microbiota that can convert Desin into the equal. So it shows high bone loss. So the red bar very high. But in the women who has gut microbiota that can convert Desin into equal, they show lower of bone loss. Both group of the women, they also get the same concentration of isoflavone. But in the red group, they can convert isoflavone into equal. They cannot convert isoflavone into equal. But on the blue bar, this group of the women has a gut microbiota that can convert isoflavone into equal. That's why even though all of them get the same dose of isoflavone, but when we look at the bone loss, only some part of the subject that has a lower bone loss percentage. This is an effect from the presence of the gut microbiota in their bodies. Lignan is another example. So lignan is a dimeric phenylflavonoid. So this is a ferric acid and coniferyl alcohol. So they get polymerized and get the lignan. So the structure is related to lignin. This is a lignan, for example. So it has the glucose, 2 group over here. It has been found in rye, flax, sesame, and sunflower seed. And the recommendation intake is 1 to 2 milligrams per day. In mammalian lignan, we found that mammalian lignan can get metabolized with the gut microflora in our body to get enterodiol and enterolactone, which is supposed to be the bioactive compound in our body. So when we look at the secondary metabolite, we don't only pay attention on the secondary metabolite itself, we need to pay attention on how it gets metabolized in our body. If it needs to get metabolized by the cytochrome P450 or the gut microflora, what is the final product that we're going to get? If the final product is a very bioactive compound, that means we need to study more on this one, not the original one. Because mostly when we study on the mechanism, we need to use the form that is absorbed in our body, not the form that we consume. And the last one is chaparral. It has been is originated in the southwestern of the United States, and in the traditional medicine they use leaves and the flowing top for the medicine. They found active compound including flavonoids and lignin has been used to treat cancer, diabetes, and infection, but it also has side effects, including liver toxicity and kidney toxicity. Phytochemicals and etoposines is also the compound that has been characterized in the phenylpropanoid, and it has been used to treat the lung cancer and lymphoma cancer. So this is all for the first part of today. And we're gonna have the discussion later. I'll give you the paper. Yeah. How about we take a break and I'll give you the copy of the paper that we're gonna discuss later. Make copy of this.